shode. Wagirire utugato ede shode.
It is the breakfast show with some Wawire.
Top of the morning to you guys. How are you? Wherever you are, welcome to the breakfast show. Today I got my mandazi plug to hook me up. This mandazi is fantastic. If you're ever in Bali, she's right opposite Cherry House. She makes them very early in the morning. Her name is Josephine. The best of the best. You're in Malaysia in a few. Anyways, today is Thursday. We do the attitude of gratitude. Very important, very, very important that everybody is grateful today. And today, I'm going to have a monologue, but at the very end. For now, I'm going to talk about why I am grateful for thieves. I like thieves. I like people who steal. See, most of the time, everybody's like, oh, mwizi ni mtu mbaya. Na ndio, sheria inasema ni mtu mbaya na sikatai. Inafaa washikwe wote. According to Sharia law, inafaa wakate mikono. According to Christians, inafaa tuwasamee, alafu walipe mara 7 or whatever we need to do. But I'm going to talk about the benefits of losing some things. I know. I'll give an example. One of our friends here, actually, I think most of you know her. Her name is Wakesho. Wakesho was once, she had a very nice laptop. Very, very nice laptop. Very, very beautiful, amazing, state-of-the-art laptop. Then, Wakesho came to work. And by the time Wakesho was going back to the house, Wakesho did not have a laptop. The only problem I have with thieves, if you're going to steal and do a good job at it, but do not project. I repeat, as a thief, be like Judas. Do what you do, but do not project on other people. If you're going to steal. That's bad manners. But on the other hand, did you know sometimes God uses this situation to move you from one level to another? And most of the time, these are lessons. Anyway, so Wakesho is angry. She's lost her laptop. So she calls me and she's like, oh, I went to work and after work, I came back to the house. My laptop, the charger, and my juice is gone. Juice. Juice. Juice is gone. I thought about it for a minute and I was like, you know what? Don't react. Don't be angry. Just chill. We'll get to the bottom of it eventually. Like, let it not stress you out. I know losing a laptop is not something easy, but in the grand scheme of things, you know. Anyway, so she relaxes. She doesn't throw a fit. She informs everybody who needs to be informed. And everybody's sympathetic with her and stuff. But for me, I'm wondering, there was no sign of breaking and entering. Like literally, nothing was broken into. I think she said that the back door was open or something like that. But I could tell that this thief had time. Like, they had enough time to pick up the laptop, go to her bedroom, look for the laptop bag. While looking for the laptop bag, drink her juice. That is not just theft or breaking and entering, or actually, let me just call it, it was not theft. That was literally an insult and has a slap to her face. I don't know if she really looked at it from my perspective, but that was a low blow. The other bunch of thieves I loved, honestly, and in fact, I enjoyed was our most recent escapade here at the church. we had two old keyboards. They were very old and like literally that touch, the carbon that for the touch was gone and all that kind of stuff. And Saturday night, this guy decided, but see, later on is when I was talking to my brother, and he's like, if they're doing the work of God somewhere, it's good, but those keyboards were old. And that was an opportunity for us to upgrade. In other words, God does not leave vacuums. He will definitely give us a keyboard. And yes, now we have a new keyboard, which is very nice. See, sometimes these people are sent by God to remove things in your life that should be upgraded. The worst part is just when you find out that it's not the person you expected it to be. And most of us are usually heartbroken. But today I've come to realize, like, I just need to be thankful for those people. Even the one who broke into my dad the other day into my dad's house and got into my room and picked up a few things and left with them. It was like I don't know who it is. But the thing is, now I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, all things work together. And because today is Thursday, I don't know what has been stolen from you. Honestly, I don't. But I believe some of us, it's not literally stealing. Some of us have been shortchanged. You applied for a job, that person had a grandfather in the job, and suddenly wakampatia mwa Kenya, and then you ended up not getting the job, and that person did. And maybe even that person is bragging to you in your face because they got it through, you know. That is being shortchanged. That is still theft. That is something that you deserve, honestly, because of your hard work, your knowledge, and whatever. And somebody used that connection to get in there. It happens. It happens. In fact, it's more rampant than you even imagine. It's still theft. You know? So as you gotta understand, sometimes things being taken away from you is not a bad thing. I'm not talking about losing stuff because of recklessness, like, you know, losing money or job opportunity because you didn't put in your CV. That's different. That's a whole different ballgame. Very, very different. This I'm talking about something that you truly deserve. You've worked hard for it. It is yours, and it's taken away. Like some of us have even, you are like, yes, in sure bit, this is mine. Then before you know it, it is not yours. Have you ever been there? Like something's stolen, yes, like something's taken away from you, and it is rightfully yours. See, it's one of those things we tunakasirikanga sana, but you gotta start looking at the positive. One of my friends, actually, I'm just gonna say his name because he really helps us out with the media, especially on the cameras. His name is Dr. Brian. Dr. Brian. He told me that he has had more than 3 TVs being stolen. I was like, bro. Then he's like, I'm just gonna buy a cheap one. I'm like, Suji, move and buy a big TV, a nice one, somewhere more secure. Well, he moved now, so he's okay. This is the thing. When some of these things are taken away from you, it's just an opportunity for you to get better. Now, I'm going to get personal here. Some people might lose you, and you feel like whatever is due you, whatever is rightfully yours, has been taken away. That is an opportunity for God to bless you with something else, something better, something nicer. So, just depends on how you look at it. But the best way to do this, and we read about this, the peace of God. Yesterday we talked about the peace of God. The perfect peace. He keeps them in perfect peace. It's peace, shalom, shalom. Comes from keeping your mind stayed on Jesus Christ. And one of the few things that will keep your mind stayed on Jesus Christ is an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful to God for the big things. Be grateful to God for the small things. Be grateful to God when you're making it. Be grateful for God when you stumble. It's important you always stay grateful to God. Consistently. Consistent. And like I said, I'm telling you, we sometimes have very many questions. And we're wondering, what is? Remember, whatever was taken away from you, God is going to return. And I'm speaking to you right now in the name of Jesus, that you're going to receive 100-fold what the enemy stole from you. And God is going to restore even what the cankerworm stole from you. In Jesus' name. And I'm trying to raise your faith, because once you approach it with the attitude of gratitude, God will consistently and constantly honor your appreciation. So today, I'm thankful to God for thieves. Even the thief on the cross was smart. Some of these thieves are not that bad. They just need an opportunity to be in the right place at the right time. And they will say the right thing. In fact, I like those thieves who you cannot tell is a thief. I can't see jangili. Lakini any jangili, jambaz. Ukimwachia 8,000 shillings inaweza kupotea. Hapa na kwa. Kuna hii moja ilinifurahisha. That deals then says, sema ameibiwa pesa. 2 days later, tunaona amenunua gas. Mtungi ya gas ni 4,000. Number 2, boyfriend yake ametravel. Ameenda. Yani, ulijua unaangalia vitu hivi unasema, Jehovah. But I think also we go through these things for God to really teach us patience. Yani Mungu anakuambia unajua nini? Unajua ukweli. Hata unaweza angalia mtu anakudanganya hivi. Unamwangalia kwa uso, unatulia tu. That is God. You're going through that thing and it becomes a lesson to you. And before we go on break, there's a lady at the corner of the service lane here in Mbale. Yesterday when she saw the Uprising car go by, she was like, I have never watched Uprising. And I told her to watch Uprising this morning from 7:30 to 9 because I'd be on the show. If at all, ataniambia chenye nimesema leo yote, I will give her an apron with Uprising on it. I will give her an apron with Uprising on it. Anyways, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back here. Today is the attitude of gratitude and it is emphasis on theft. See you in a little bit.
This is Uprising Television, enriching lives.
Well, karibu Uprising baba.
Yes.
Mimi naitwa Sam.
Okay, naitwa Michael Luambo kutoka Restaurant Security.
Restaurant Security.
Yes.
Where are you based? Office ziko?
Office zetu ziko Nyanya House, pale town hapa, opposite Equity Bank.
Opposite Equity.
Yes.
Nyanya House ile ilikuwa ya mke wa Kara.
That is it. Hapo ndo kwenye office zetu ziko.
Yes. So, how long have you been doing this? Ama mko kwa biashara?
Tumekuwa kwa biashara for 3 years now.
3 years?
Yes.
And you're based in Viga?
Yeah, based in Viga. Yeah, ndo penye tunafanya hizo biashara. Kazi ya restaurant security, mostly tunafanya event security na guardings. So like event security ile tunaenda kwa weddings, kwa unapata mkiwa na function ya kanisa, mkiwa pia na function ya matanga, pale hivyo crowd control, political meetings, sporting events, wando tunafanya. Then tuko na ile ya guarding yenye huwa tunaleta guards pale hivyo na negotiate. Then tunakuwekea guard kwa homestead, kwa school, churches, any institution. Hata ukitaka personal bodyguard iko under event security pia tunakuletea.
So mnaweza nipatie tu mtu tunatembea na yeye?
Yes, ukitaka unakupatia tu mtu akue mnatembea tu na yeye.
Sijui naona kama nita apply kazi. Unasikia kesho mtumie nataka bodyguard. andikeni hiyo kwa list. Na si kutoka kwingine, kutoka hapa vile.
Yes.
So if people want to reach you, mko na contacts zenu?
Tuko na contacts zetu zenye huwa watu wanaweza reach kwetu.
Yeah.
Tuko na hii namba ya 0716 642 518 na pia tuko na 0738 804 237.
Okay.
But mostly pia kwa wale wenye wanaweza fika, wanaweza kutembelea kwa ofisi zetu pale Inyanya House. Ziko open from Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday.
Yeah, from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m.
That is wonderful.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
So if you have an event, ama uko na kitu inaendelea, ama ni harusi, and you need some professional services za ku make sure vitu zinasonga vile zinafaa zisonge.
Yes.
Hapa Mbale kwenyewe Vihiga County tuko na watu wetu, tafadhali. So give them a call, namba yao pia tutaweka hapo kwa runinga, mahali hapo chini, na unaweza wafikia ili waweze kupatia hizo services. By the way, si nyinyi mnafanya security hapa?
Yeah, hapa kwa hii event sisi ndio tumefanya guarding na pia ukitaka mambo ya CCTV installation bado watu tunafanya.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Kwa hii event pia sisi ndio tunaigadi kwa siku ya leo.
Sawa.
Yeah, so ukiwa na harusi yako, tuite pale nyumbani pale, tuite pale kanisani.
Yaani unaniona nikani niko na amesema harusi yangu yeye ananiletea security.
Yeah.
Hata sikuwa nimemwambia mwenyewe tu
Yes, najua.
Ashanena, sio?
Yes.
Nashukuru sana baba. Na definitely najua kutoka watu tutawatafuta. Na tunashukuru sana.
Tunawakaribisha wote.
Sawa.
Yes.
Asante sana baba.
Thank you very much.
Covid.
This is Uprising Television, enriching lives.
sifa zote. Ewe Bwana wa mabwana, hakuna mwingine. Pokea sifa, pokea sifa zote, pokea sifa zote. Ewe Bwana wa mabwana, hakuna, hakuna, hakuna. Pokea sifa zote, pokea sifa zote. Hakuna, hakuna mwingine. Pokea sifa, ukatie enzini. Ulikufa msalabani kwa ajili yetu. Asante Yesu kwa damu yako. Pokea sifa. Yesu, ayatakatetele. Hakuna, hakuna mwingine. One more time. Pokea sifa zote. Hakuna, hakuna mwingine. Ameinuliwa. Hakuna mwingine, hakuna wa kulinganisha, hakuna wa kulinganisha. Akisema ndio, atakubariki, atakuinua. Amepewa jina ambalo liananekayata sinenyemiananasi. Unapoinua jina yake, anabariki nyumba yako. Unapoinua jina yake, anakuponya. Inua sauti yako. Yuko mahali hapa, yuko mahali hapa, anatenda maajabu. Ameinuliwa Yesu, Sanana mayanane sikara isayana nane sikayara hayane mayano sikata siminitaya nakaya mamoshe. Umeinuliwa duniani kote, umeinuliwa maishani mwetu, umeinuliwa kwa familia yetu, umeinuliwa kwa biashara, umeinuliwa kila mahali juu. house. One more time. Hallelujah.
Come on, keep singing it, singing it. Yarabado severene kefariza. Epona hikolazi. Fame Yesu. Akuna mwingine. Ayadadada baradash. Sing it to him. Amen. Only you are. Yeah. Malaga baratus. Oh, Jesus. 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 King of kings and Lord of lords. Woo! Erebamane na na na. We give you the glory. 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 You deserve it all. We give you the glory. Hey, we give you the glory.
This is Uprising Television, enriching lives.
Umeinuliwa mfalme Yesu. I hope we do it this Sunday to our church. That's a very powerful song. Anyways, we were talking about the attitude of gratitude, even when you are a victim of theft. Umeibiwa na umefanyiwa ile kitu. It's okay. It's normal. Like I said, we always have to look for the hand of Christ in whatever we are doing. It's hard sometimes. It's very hard. Very, very hard. Umekuja kugundua. Because it's your right that has been infringed on. So it's very, 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 very difficult. Some of you worked so hard to get to where you are. Mtu anatoka tu kwa anaingia kwa room yako anachukua vitu zako. You know? Ukimuuliza mbona hukuuliza? Mimi hata kitu inanisumbuanga ni vile wanadanganya. In fact, that one disturbs me. Kabisa. Unajua ukiiba, kubali maybe. Ikisa unadanganya. Some even lie about it. Very. Lakini Mungu ni mwema. Anyways, today, I have a few things I'm grateful to God for. A few things. Number one, I wrote them down. And you can join me in saying this. Number one, I am grateful for the heartbreak. The kind that shattered the illusions and exposed hidden places I hadn't dared to confront. The pain was not pretty because it humbled me. It stripped me and it made me question my worth. But in that breaking, I discovered that God was near to me, the brokenhearted. That is in Psalms chapter 34, verse 18. He didn't despise my tears. Rather, he counted them. And every one of my tears watered the ground for something new in my life. All right. Number two, I'm grateful for the pain. Not because I enjoyed it, but because it didn't kill me. And I'm sure it didn't kill you too. It taught me how to breathe again, to breathe differently, intentionally, and slowly. Pain taught me that I had wounds that need tending, not hiding. It pushed me into prayer, pushed me to therapy, and it pushed me to healing. And now I carry scars, not open wounds. And scars tell the story of survival. I'm grateful for the lies. They hurt, especially when they came from people I trusted. But the lies helped me discover the truth, and more importantly, the truth that is in Jesus Christ. Because he is the way, the truth, and the life. Lies reveal the difference between appearance and substance. Those lies forced me to cling to integrity when everything in me wanted revenge. They reminded me that truth doesn't fight. Truth stands. I'm grateful for the evil plans. Oh, Jesus. Yes, they were crafted in shadows behind my back. The ones that were meant to harm me, to destroy me, to isolate me, but they didn't work. And they reminded me of Joseph's words in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. What the enemy plotted became the very path that God used to draw me into destiny. I'm grateful for the conditioning, for the patterns I didn't even know were shaping me, for the manipulations that blinded me, for the subtle emotional prisons that convinced me that I wasn't enough. I'm grateful because I see them now, and seeing is the first step to freedom. I'm no longer a puppet. I'm a man with power to choose. And in the words of Kefatazo, the wise man, I escaped the matrix. I'm grateful for purpose because after the pain, I didn't just find peace. I found direction. I realized that nothing was ever wasted. The heartbreak, the silence, the betrayals, they refined me to what I was born to do. Purpose isn't found in the mountaintop moments. It is found in the valley where God meets us with fire in his eyes and destiny in his hands. Oh, that was nice. I'm grateful for my choices because I could have chosen bitterness. I could have become who they accused me of being, but I chose growth. I chose faith. I chose to become a better man, not out of spite, but out of surrender. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. I own my story. The story of Samuel Wawire Kesa. I make conscious decisions now. Not reactive ones. That is the kind of power nobody can take away from me. I'm grateful for newfound love, whether it's still unfolding or already blooming. I'm grateful for the ability to feel again, to trust again, to love again. Not from a place of fear, but from a place of fullness. I don't love because I'm desperate. I love because I'm healed. Woo. And that love, when it comes, it's a garden. A beautiful garden. not a battlefield. I'm grateful for the hope of reconnection with peace, with my son. I love you, son, Jedi. With those who are meant to walk this journey with me. I know that God is the restorer. He brings prodigal sons home. He turns hearts. He makes all things new. And even in the timeline, and even if the timeline doesn't look like mine, I know the author. And his story always ends with redemption. So today, wherever you are, whether you're in the heartbreak or you're in the healing, you're in the trying to figure out stuff, or you're in the process of building your purpose, be grateful, because gratitude is not denial. It's defiance. It's the soul saying, you tried to break me, but I am still here. That is what the attitude of gratitude does for you. Okay, there's one more. Oh, yeah. Oh. Be grateful for the little things and the big things. Today, that is my attitude. And I hope you can rewind. If you're watching it on YouTube, just push it back a little bit and go through it. Go through it. If you want, I can send you the Mwakeng. Just shoot a message on the line up there, and we'll send it to you. Because this is the thing. That attitude of gratitude is what will make you go through most of these things. In fact, you will look back, and rather than have pain and have, how do I call it, remember what bad things people did to you, you find it very easy to let it go. You find it very easy to forgive. You find it very easy to realize that, oh my God, most of these things people do to you are never about you. This is a personal. Trust me, most of these things are personal to them. They just happen to, what you might call it, project it to you. And in the story, like I said earlier this morning, I was talking about a thief. I'm very specific, but one thing I realized is, if you listen to people's accusation of you, most of the time, especially if it's false, is a projection of themselves. If they feel guilty about something, that's what they're going to project to you. If they're okay about something, then trust me, they won't project anything to you. So for example, if I'm cool with you, I'll project happiness to you. I'll be like, this guy is happy. You know? But if I'm going through guilt, I'll think everybody around me is good. To those who are pure, everything is pure. And today, like I said, I'm very specific, because it doesn't matter when, where, how, somebody has stolen something from you. Trust me, including time. Time wasted is time stolen. You know? Abuse. Conditioning. But I'm sure people wondering, what is this conditioning thing? I was sharing with my friend Marvel the other day, and we started talking about how people are conditioned. And I'm just going to talk about it for 1 minute, and I hope it helps somebody out there. Conditioning is the worst way of control. Conditioning is changing your mind, your emotions, your mind, your emotions, your feelings to adhere to a certain pattern that is not necessarily yours, but it favors somebody else, the conditioner. My brother, what do you mean? Let's say you want to paint me in a bad light. Okay, I'm choosing a very easy example. And you want to make people think that I'm a bad person. You can condition me by conditioning my behaviors. You start what is called the reward system, where you reward the good and you do the, like, you teach somebody patterns. You teach somebody how to behave in a certain way. And it's very manipulative, by the way. very manipulative. This comes from the Delilah spirit. It's actually very, very based in that spirit, where somebody anakufunza tabia fulani na ujui. For example, mwanaume anaweza kufunza tu hautaona upendo kwa mtu mwingine except yeye. Unaona? So you are conditioned that this is the only person who loves me. This relationship cannot move forward without him. Like over-dependence on that person. Actually, that's what most of the time they do. You say the over-dependence, they coach your reactions. I, for lack of a better way of saying it. So when you're conditioned, once I condition you, even if I did something wrong to you, if it's in that condition or if it's in that environment, you won't even think much of it. There's some people, yani, they have been bound by this thing so badly that, and most abusers do this, so that even if they abuse you inside the relationship, you don't see anything wrong with it. Like, hautaona makosa hapo. In fact, you might find yourself defending them. Some men have been conditioned in marriage to a place where their wives can openly disrespect them. In fact, wengine hata wanaambia, I know I'm disrespecting, utaniambia ini disrespect. But you're so conditioned to that environment that anytime you leave, you feel like something is missing. So you go back to the abuse. It's called conditioning. If somebody wants to teach you bad behavior, they can condition you by making you feel safe in a certain environment. Once you feel safe in that environment, they can do whatever they want to do to you. See, that's called conditioning. And most of the time, some of us are conditioned and we have no idea we are conditioned. In fact, we don't know we have been conditioned. Emotional abuse mostly happens that way. And you have to get out to see it. And once you get out of conditioning, the one thing people don't understand is you have to start by forgiving yourself. Like you start by saying, okay, the number one person who needs to deal with this thing, the number one person who needs to be looked at in this thing is myself. Now, there's a word that is thrown around recklessly. Now, I will say, don't use this word if you're not sure of what it means, or if narcissism. Narcissism is a mental illness, and it has to be diagnosed. That's what many people call narcissism. No, it's just conditioning. What they say is narcissism is somebody conditions you to a certain environment where they can do whatever they want to do to you. And for some reason, or one reason or another, you cannot get out of it because you are so used to that environment. Get it? So where utaona tu inafaa nikae hapa. No, haifai ukae hapa. Some of you are insulted every day. I'll give another example. Conditioning can even happen in schools, where mtoto wako ameambiwa sasa ni hivi, this is the way it's supposed to be done. And I thank God for CBC, because now CBC now is now pushing people out of conditioning, because now we can think outside the box. No. It happens in so many areas of our lives, but the most pronounced and predominant part is usually in relationships. And in relationships where one person wants control. You get it? You get it? So, kuna ile you can be requested. Unajua unaambiwa, honey, si leo tuende tukule ugali kibanda X. That's request. But some of you are conditioned, mulianza X na Y, na sasa mnajipata lazima tu uende X. Ndio conditioning. You are conditioned. Unafunzwa. You don't have choice. Okay. Some people even conditioned kwao nyumbani, like they don't see anywhere else they can have peace or they can build a life if it's not around their home. Utapata hata mtakosana na mtu kwa sababu yeye lazima tu aende kwao. Like one of my friends, David, told somebody, I know, unapenda kwenda kwenda. Yeah, because they've been conditioned. That is, that's their safe space. You know? Like they don't see anywhere else as safe except that place. You know? And most of the time, it is a prison. That's why when I talked about conditioning here, I thank God, because there are patterns Like unafunza mtu patterns and you shape them. No. Kids are conditioned. That's why I don't like no. Some kids are conditioned. Wanna get manipulation. And most of the time, manipulation is meant to blind you. Blinds you to the obvious. It blinds you to injustices that are being done against you. It blinds you to insults. It blinds you to knowing that you deserve better, okay? And then for the subtle emotional prisons that convinced me I wasn't enough. One thing about conditioning is once you're in there, you'll never be good enough. Hautaitosha mboga. And I remember one of the statements I heard, and I think I used to say it, I don't remember. But it used to be, I am not a bad person. I am not a bad person. You know, somebody can condition you to feel like you're such a bad person that outside there, nobody else will want you. No, you're not a bad person. Nobody's a bad person. God can change. God can fix things. And I'm talking about conditioning because maybe you are there. You are in a relationship and you don't see it. But start watching patterns because conditioning comes from patterns. Okay? Nanzanga na patterns. Before you know it, you're a prisoner. After the patterns comes the manipulation, and then after that, now you're in prison. And like I said, one of the biggest prisons is the one that makes you feel like you're not good enough. It's bad. This thing is bad. And it's happening to so many people, and they have no idea, especially men. I don't know when they are conditioned. That's where that term happy wife, happy life came from. It means you're conditioned. I challenge that statement all day, every day. It's not happy wife, happy life. No. It's happy husband, happy wife, happy life. In fact, if you have children, happy children. Happy family, happy life. Why does it have to be this? It's because it's a conditioning statement. It's a conditioning move where sacrifices, rather than it being something that comes out of the heart towards the people, it's something that is used to bind you. And like I said, it's in patterns. So watch patterns. By the way, in this life, watch patterns. Oh my God. If somebody tells you they love you, patterns. Don't just believe, oh, I love you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I get patterns. Okay? And you might be like, what does that mean? If somebody has a pattern of wanting freedom, let them be. If somebody has a pattern of possessiveness, if somebody has a pattern of generosity, if somebody has a pattern of understanding, it's all about patterns. And you gotta understand them. You take time, you go through them, you're like, you know what? I need to understand this person. What are their patterns? What are the behaviors? How do they react to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Once you understand that, you'll start seeing other patterns that might be binding you. And let me tell you, there is nothing in this world harder than getting out of conditioning. Conditioning ni mbaya. Conditioning inaweza kufanya ukae hapo unatusiwa. You're being literally disrespected and you can't leave. Some people have to look for a different reason to get away from conditioning, because even the insults that you're receiving and the manipulation that is happening, huwezi toka. So Mungu anakusaidia tu, unapata sababu nyingine na unatomokea side nyingine. Let me help you. If you notice you have pattern of control, you want to control this person, unasema huyu mtu afanyanga hicho nataka. Look out. Akikataa unafanya nini? Wacha tu nigonge hapo kweli kidogo, si ndio? When you start giving people the silent treatment because they are not doing what you want them to do, si ndio? You have started conditioning them. Afadhali ukuje waambie watu mmenikosea hapa na hapa na hapa, malizane kabisa, ishe. Hiyo kwa imeenda. Lakini sasa umenyamazia mtu siku 7, which silent treatment is emotional abuse. Umemnyamazia, anaanza kusikia vibaya, baadaye sasa anaanza kupendeza ndio msamee. Immediately actions have to be done, or something needs to be done for you to forgive somebody other than the apology itself, especially if it's sincere. You've started conditioning somebody, and that's very wrong. Mbaya, it's bad. It's not of God. Because what you're doing is you're emotionally conditioning. In fact, you're using emotional abuse to condition somebody. Some of you, you're wondering, huyu jamaa alikuanga tu ako sawa na saa hii tunaona ni kama conditioning. And that's what takes people to even drug abuse. Because now once you leave this conditioning, you have developed some form of dependency on these patterns and this manipulation that has blinded you. So you feel blind, okay? You're in a prison. Let me ask you a question. Mtu anaweza aje kuchagulia gown mwenye si bwana yangu na usikasiriki? You are conditioned. Yani unaonyesha madharau. And where kama mwanaume, there's nothing you can do about it because you don't even know you're in prison. Utaki kukosana na kinikasirikia immediately start thinking like that in prison. Conflict is good. Afadhali nikasirike and we make up. We forgive each other kama ni kusameana, or you decide to go separate ways. But if you find yourself taking things that you would normally not take just because it is this person, hiyo si mzuri. Those are boundary lines that have been blurred and they've been taken away because you've been conditioned. Because one thing conditioning does is it takes away boundaries. It does not respect boundaries. And people who condition others, trust you me, these people, our word, you are buying. They are bad. They are bad for you. They are bad for your mental health. They are bad for your spiritual health. Because this is the thing. The Bible says, he who the Son sets free is free indeed. Why are you being conditioned?